Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase podcast. Today we are talking to Cristina Gonzalez, who is the Curvy Girl dating coach. I'm so excited to be chatting with you today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me. This is going to be exciting.
I think so. I was over there looking on your website. I was just like, I'm so inspired that you really focus on loving yourself first and being comfortable with who you are before you start into like how to find a date.
Mhm. Yes.
I think so many people miss that. So tell us a little bit about how you got started. Why are you doing this?
Well, you know how you go on bad date after bad date and then you start feeling like something is wrong with you? Like that's what I need. I wanted somebody to help me that way. So I was single for 10 years and I had, a great life going on and, went to school, did this, all the things. And, year after year, I was single and single and single. And I'm like, you know, there has to be something wrong with me. And then I would blame my weight, because I was a little overweight and all the things. And I I finally just started kind of like you said, like looking into myself. And I know it's kind of cliche to be like, oh, you need to love yourself. But it was really more loving myself into being like knowing who I am, being confident about what I wanted, not settling for people like going out on dates with people that I knew that weren't going to be a good match for me, but going out because I thought like, oh, this is what this is what I get, And so I just got tired of that and started kind of really like tuning into myself. And I finally had success and I found a relationship that I wanted. And I was like, there's got to be, I don't want women to feel like this ever. And so I just kind of made it a commitment that this is what I want to do for people. And I want to help out women to know that the only thing that's holding them back is themselves.
A lot of times I think we just grow up thinking, oh, we have to go find a guy and get married. And to be honest, there was a time not that long ago when that was the thing. Women went to college not to find careers, but to find husbands who were going to get good careers. And today, more women go to college than men.
Yeah.
And it's not the place where you go to find a spouse anymore. It's a place to go to get educated. Um, and women can do so many things that they couldn't do, in the 50s and the 60s, all the way up until close to the 70s. Women really did need to have some man in their life. Now we really don't need them. It's
Right.
nice when you find somebody that you really enjoy their company, but you're not dependent on them the way we once were as women in this country
Right.
anyway.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way that I grew up. Not necessarily like that I was going to need to grow up to rely on a man, but I had all my influences in my family were married, so I thought I had to check all these boxes and meet all these milestones. And that was another reason why I wanted to start this so badly because, I broke up with a boyfriend at 27 years old and I was like, oh no, like I need to, I'm almost 30. I have to have somebody fall in love with me. I have to marry them. We have to buy a house and we have to start having a family in like 3 years. Like, how is this going to happen? And when that didn't happen at 30 and I knew I had to revise my plan, like I didn't want to feel bad about it or like that I was a failure or there was not that there was something wrong with me. So I just had to rewrite my story and decide that that was okay. And that's just not how it works for everybody and that's just not true anymore, so that was a really big lesson throughout my singleness.
Yeah, and even having kids,
Mhm.
some people have them. I have a lot of them, but my sisters don't have any.
Yeah,
And in
I
fact, neither of my sisters is even married, and they're
yeah,
very successful human beings and pursued great careers and live great lives. It's just
right,
the dynamics have changed so much, and just being able to step into who you are. And if somebody comes along, great.
right,
They don't, great. And maybe they will come
right.
along too much later.
Yeah, and that's true. And like I always tell my clients, like, you can't just not live your life and just be like, oh, well, I can't go on vacation until I find a partner, or I can't buy a house until I find a partner, or I can't start a family until you mean people start families without partners. Like it's possible, maybe not easy, maybe, all the things, but if you want it, go do it, you know?
And you'd be surprised how many kids I know I've had other kids living with us kind of outside the system, but they, for one reason or another, their family dynamics were weird and, you know, like mom left when they were really young and then dad has like all these problems. So
Mhm.
they're just like out there. They're not really in the system as far as, being um, with social services, but they're certainly not old enough to live on their own, and they're still needing to go to school and get an education. And so you never know who's going to come along. Is kind of my point when it comes to having kids, because you may have kids, but then you're going to have kids,
Right.
and sometimes kids just show up in your life, and they may be there for a season, they may be there forever. So it doesn't the whole family picture is so different now than it was for a lot of years. Or maybe it's always been that way, but it wasn't like the fairy tale thing that we've been taught.
Right. That's very true.
So you help women date. And
Mhm.
this is really interesting to me because I haven't dated in, I don't know, my 28th anniversary is coming up. So
Oh, good for you. Happy anniversary.
um, but what advice can you give people? What do you, what is it like out there right now? I have like no idea.
It's rough, and you definitely go up and down. And like I said, might start blaming yourself that there's something wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just you're not finding the right people, you're not being in that right spot. So, I mean, my if if you want a relationship, like first you need to decide what you want. Like if you want a long-term relationship, commit to finding it. You have to go through and you know, kiss a lot of frogs first, but you're going to get there if that's what you want. And there's a lot of different kinds of relationships that people want. Some people just want a nice companion that they go and do things with and that's it, and that's good too. There's not any limitations on the types of relationships that you want. But definitely I feel like my best advice is to be confident in what you want, and don't date the people that don't want the same thing as you. Like don't try to change them. Don't be open minded, well maybe that this is what I want instead. Just no. Like get those people out of the way and focus on the people that are like you. So I think that's kind of my
And,
best advice.
and do stuff,
Yes.
to go on vacations and, go to restaurants that you like to go in groups, make
Right.
make communities, find communities, because you never know in a community how many somebody's going to have a friend. You know?
Yeah, I mean, they say that every one person that you meet, there's like a whole wedding party of people, So the more people that you go out there and do things like, and that's the thing too. People ask like, where do you meet people nowadays? And it's like doing the stuff that you enjoy doing is where you meet people. So like, don't sit at home and be like, oh, I'm, single. I can't do anything. Go do stuff. Go meet people. Go shake people's hands. Don't be afraid of being alone and looking weird, because the minute that you go in there and shake somebody's hand and talk to them, then you're not alone anymore. Like you have a whole world of people to go and be friends with. And so like I always tell people, like don't wait for to travel. If you want to go travel, go travel. Maybe the person that's going to be in the airplane next to you is going to be the love of your life. Like you don't know. So don't hold back on your life and just go live it. Don't wait for
Yeah,
people.
and join classes and learn to dance, do something new, join a gym. There's just like so many things out there to pursue. And especially since, the great pandemic has passed, we can all get together again. And it's fun to like go to the beach and play volleyball, or I don't know, join
Yeah,
a
you
group
just
that likes to hike. Whatever it is that you like to do, go and do that. And then you're not alone. You may show up alone, but you're with a group.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like meetup groups now. Like the internet is just wonderful in finding, groups of things to do, like getting out of your comfort zone, but like uh, finding like figuring out what your future partner and you like want to do, go do those things, and so if you like volunteering, go volunteer. Just it's possible to go find the person that you want out in life. You just got to go out there. I only know one person in like only one person who has ever had like their partner knock on their door and find like because you know how people say like nobody's just gonna knock on your door and you're not gonna fall in love with them. I do have one person that has been true for. So
Was it a salesman?
it was a contractor. She had some things to get done through her, like some work to do in her house. And he
Hmm.
just like kept, it took longer and took longer and took longer, because he wanted to get to know her. And it worked out. So
That's
it's
great. I
interesting.
love
Yeah,
that.
right?
It could be a
Isn't that
rom-com.
funny? Yeah, right? It should.
I think it's like the theme of most of them that I watch.
Right.
So let's look at the dark side for a minute. What
Mhm.
things do you have to caution women about in the dating world, especially
Like,
online dating?
yeah, like definitely you just don't know who you're going to meet, especially online. Um, so I just always, say keep it safe, communicate with people, like have a best friend that knows, the name of the person, their handle on, their online handle, where you met them, where you're going, when you're expected to be back. If you feel like you need to have oh, I'm sorry, I really need to take this call and like step out to go and make sure that it's okay. Just do it. And I just think as far as the dark side is concerned, just feel safe, meet in public. I always say like have like a favorite like bar or restaurant or something that like the staff that works there so that you can be like, hey, this is where I'm going to be on all my first dates. I'm just letting you know, you know, so that they can
That's a
see if
great
there's
idea.
something off and they can help you out and you can do a signal or something. So they can help you out. So I definitely am an advocate of getting to know people around and having like a safe first date place, even if it's Starbucks, if you so if you're like, if I come
Yeah,
back
that's
and order a
great.
hot tea, call the police.
And as silly as that sounds, I've known many people who've gone on internet dates. I know people that have moved across the world and been, I don't know what possesses somebody to do that, but they were very disappointed when they realized that this person was not who they
Yes.
seemed to be online, because even with Zoom, you can't tell if maybe the person hangs the toilet paper upside down the wrong way, or
Right.
maybe they just
Total
don't
deal breaker.
care.
Yeah, one of my favorite reality shows is Love After Lockup, and it's the same thing. It's like, y'all, what were you thinking? Like, why did you think that this was a good idea? You just moved to a different state and you don't know this person. Like, you've never been on a date.
Yeah, and I'm not against people going on wild adventures, but do
Right.
it safe. Make sure that I like your idea of having a dedicated, first date spot, and
Hmm.
having, your posse there to back you up,
Right.
because it keeps people out of trouble. And I know when I was young, we didn't think about those kinds of things, and
Mm-mm.
a
You didn't
lot of
have
women
to.
in my age group, we got into trouble, and I would be very happy if everybody else didn't
Right.
get into
No, I
those
totally
situations.
understand. Yeah, I mean, I definitely in my 10 years of being single had made a lot of probably not the best decisions. Like thankfully, I'm great and everything's okay, but yeah, definitely have met in not public spaces before and just dumb, but we're good. We're safe. We're fine. I made it through.
And you have profile checklist,
Mhm.
the Curvy Girl dating profile checklist, if I
Right.
remember correctly. I really
Yes.
like that. You
Yeah.
also had some advice in there about DMing people. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah,
Because
for
you get
sure.
into conversations with people over direct messaging, and
Yeah. So I have a Curvy Girl dating profile checklist. And so Curvy Girl comes from I work with plus size women mostly. I work with all sizes, but mostly plus size women. So anyhow, so with the checklist, there's a few different sections on it. And the first area talks about pictures, like doing like a great headshot that's, doesn't have a lot of filters and like don't wear sunglasses. Like let somebody see who you are and all your beauty. And same thing with your body and your curves, like show them off and be who you are and be confident in your own skin, and don't be afraid to be authentic and show who you are, because there's going to be someone out there that just thinks that you're perfect.
and
And
really
then
hot.
yeah, exactly.
I
And
know
yeah,
for me
my
that was
boyfriend.
something that when I was young, I like everybody has to be thin. It was just like drilled into me. And then I met my husband who was just like, no, you better eat, girl.
Yeah. I mean, my boyfriend as well, like the picture that he commented on with me was like a picture that I was wearing like workout pants and a t-shirt and no makeup on. I was like deer hunting with my family. We're from Texas, so that's like normal, right? And so and he was like, "Hey, nice t-shirt." And I had all kinds of like other pictures with makeup on and had my hair done, and he commented on the ugly one. But I was trying to showcase my diversity in my like
Mhm.
everything that I do, right? Or my versatility, or I don't know what it is. But yeah, I was trying to showcase that I could do different things and I wasn't just one person that wears the same makeup all day. So yeah, he commented on the picture with no makeup on. So, I mean, you just don't know what people are going to find like beautiful. And so after that, like the pictures are one thing, but then like creating a conversation through those pictures, like be interesting in your pictures, not just a whole bunch of selfies, like show the things that you like to do. If you like to travel, where's the last place that you traveled, and just really just showcase like who you are in these pictures, like just not just all the selfies at your house in the bathroom. And so when you're having these, like when you're creating the profile and doing your personal description, like talk about those things, talk about what you do, what you want to do. Like I want to do these things with a partner. Like if my perfect partner would enjoy running in the mornings on Saturday. I mean, I don't know if that's my thing, but some people like that, right? And so just really talk about that, because when the DM comes, you want to give people an opening to send you a DM and be like, "Hey, I saw this picture. Where was it? I love the beach. What beach was this?" You want to give people an opening to want to talk to you. And when you're looking, the same thing goes for you. When you're looking to DM somebody, look at those pictures and ask them a question. You want, instead of like, "Hey, what's up?" Like do something that's a little thoughtful, like, "Hey, I noticed that you like Seinfeld." Whatever it is, just, you know, have some questions
Be
and give
be a
people that
person and be
option.
interested.
Right. Be interesting.
And interested, because sometimes you
Yes.
just need to like wonder about what they're doing if you're DMing them cold, and look at their stalk them on Facebook or wherever they go.
Right. Exactly. That is totally allowed. And so, yeah, so that's pretty much what my checklist is all about. Just trying to have a really good, healthy content in your own platform that you can show off who you are, and the best of who you are, and show yourself off, and and hopefully you'll find somebody that will be interested in that, and you can go on all the dates.
You were telling me you're developing
Yes,
another
I
thing.
I am working on a webinar that has to do with my profile checklist. It'll be a deep dive into that. So the goal, and this will be the end of September, so stay tuned. But and I'll have it available too as well. But um it's just going to be a deep dive into the profile. So at the end of the webinar in the 1 hour, you'll have it ready to go and ready to post. So I'm really looking forward to that because a lot of people will tell me that they don't know what to write. And so this will be a great opportunity to be interactive and give each other ideas.
That sounds really great. And it's always more fun to do stuff like that with friends.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Rather-
I will tell you the truth. If you show me a picture, I'll be like, no, not that one.
So bring lots of pictures.
Yes.
So how does your coaching actually work? Is it one-on-one? Is it group? Is it, what is it? What's it look
Yeah,
like?
I do one-on-one coaching right now. I do 4 months at a time, and I'm kind of flexible with that, but mostly I like to do 4 months because I feel like that captures like enough time for you to kind of meet some certain goals for yourself. And so I like to customize everybody's package on what where they are now, like because people are at different levels in their dating. So I don't want to have like this generic package where you might be not ready for some things or completely, is way too far behind, and so I customize the package on like where you are now, where you want to look for, where you want to be in 4 months, and like what's a realistic vision of your future self. And we just create goals and we work on them every week. So I do that. And I do have the vision in the future to create a group membership and have a group program. So you can stay in, and every month we'll have a new topic and talk about, have one focus and maybe a challenge or so. And then, it'll just be a monthly membership. So that's going to be in the future. But for right now, we're doing one-on-ones.
Sounds great.
Mhm.
So how can they get in touch with you?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at the Curvy Girl Dating Coach. And I also have a website, thecurvygirldatingcoach.com. And be sure if you click the link in my bio, you can go ahead and grab that free checklist if you would like.
Yeah, I encourage people to do that. It was really good.
Thank you.
Well put together. So what's the one thing you want to leave the audience with today?
I just say, like I said, be safe, have communication, be with the people that go on dates with people that meet similar interests and values that you are, and like are going in the right direction as you. And it's okay to say no to people that don't match what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Be comfortable with telling people no, have boundaries.
Yeah,
It's
it's totally okay.
not going to help them and it's not going to help you.
Right. I mean, because if you just tell somebody, hey, this is not what I'm looking for, it gives them the opening to go find who they want and what's best for them.
Yeah. So such valuable information. Thank you so much for joining us today, Christina. Really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much.